By the time this video drops, Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse will have come out. I'm super excited for the movie, personally excited to see the LEGO universe that Jake Johnson talked about in an interview. Quick plug, y'all should totally follow me on Instagram. I post a lot of whips of upcoming mocks and BTS of the videos. Anyway, in celebration of what I'm sure will be a cinematic masterpiece, I decided to build something from Into the Spider-Verse. I went with the Super Collider, which I actually attempted to build years ago but failed miserably, so I must redeem myself. This video is also a collaboration, so definitely check out all of my fellow comrades in plastic and their plastic creations. The links will be in the description below, so show them some love. To kick us off, I need to design a pattern to replicate the feel of the reference material. Wait, scratch that, we need a new Sharpie. Okay, now I'm thinking of alternating between using the 2x2s with the middle stud and the 1x2s with the middle stud, as you can see in the little diagram. Sorry for the crude drawing, I'm a LEGO guy, not an art guy. I'm sure you get an idea of what we're going for. A quick time jump later, I've got the base of the mock. To add some extra detail, I've placed a border of dark gray bricks. I also did this because I don't have the parts or budget to build the whole thing. Next, I took all of the white tiles we bought and placed transparent studs on them to represent the lights that you can see all around the Super Collider. Whoever can guess how many of these are in this little bin will receive a cookie from yours truly. Here's a hint though, it's more than 150 we purchased. I also used ones from my collection. We're also going to add some walls to the back of the build just to polish it up, and I'm also going to add some infrastructure to hold up the observation room. Now I must place all of the white tiles. This was painstakingly hard because they kept falling off. It took well over 15 minutes, but you guys get to see it in 15 seconds. Then we can place the observatory where Kingpin's employees sit monitoring the machine. We do need to furnish it though, so I built two dark gray desks. They're very simple, but a really cool technique that I created, and then an assortment of tech builds to top off the desk. Then we built some office chairs, which are very similar to the Spy Family mock that I did last time. And after we place the furniture inside the observatory, we have to go to work on the section of the build that stumped me all those years ago. The Super Collider itself. First, I built a separate portion to hold up the collider, and after tiling it off, I got an assortment of yellow and blue plates to make several builds to represent the base of the collider that you can see in this picture. Then, I took this naked skeleton of a circle and stuck all the Ukraine flags onto it. Next, I grabbed some LEGO hinge pieces and surrounded the base with them. You'll see why in a second. Then I tackled the cylinder barrels that surround the collider. I used the same technique that I did for my green pipe in the Mario video, except on a much bigger scale because I built like 20 of these guys. While past me is putting all of those into place, I just want to say thank you so much for making it this far in the video. I'm very thankful I can do this sort of thing on a regular basis, and viewers like you make that possible, so thank you a whole lot. To finish off the collider, I added an assortment of builds, including some minor illegal techniques, and finally we can connect it to the section of the wall we built earlier. The minifigures I'll be using to populate this mock both came from the Daily Bugle set, specifically the Spider-Man and Miles Morales minifigures. After some more work and a few small adjustments, we're done, so let's take a look at the final product. I know I say this every video, but I'm super happy with how this mock turned out. Especially since I've tried to build this once before, it felt like I was conquering the skill level past me had. I had to spend a little money to prove that, but it was well worth it. The white tile pattern looks awesome when they're all in place, and the atmosphere this build creates really captures the movie despite having less space to work with. My favorite part, of course, is the collider and the transparent reddish, orangish, yellowish beam shooting from it. I didn't record the building process of that, but trust me when I say it was a hassle to make it look so random. I love all the moving parts that went into making the collider, and the build really captures this epic scene nicely. I will say it's extremely fragile, and it's for display only, though that's pretty common with my mocks. As you can see, we have Peter Parker's Spider-Man swinging into action while Miles looks on in shock. I initially hoped to build Green Goblin, but the deadline for the collab near closer. Maybe I'll make it someday, who knows. The mock works well without him regardless. The observatory room looks cool, and I really like the desks and chairs that I built. When designing this MOC, I was scared I wouldn't be able to pull off all the angles present in the reference material, but thankfully it all comes together perfectly despite the limitations that LEGO has. I do love how LEGO just lets creativity flourish, but when it comes to circular shapes, it is a lot harder to translate stuff into that format. The challenge is what made this MOC so fun to build, and yes, the next video will provide a challenge for me again. I hope to return to the town just west of Weird for the magnum opus of the series, so you guys know what I'm talking about. Well, that's all I have for you guys. See you in the next video.